On the scholarship of Muslim women, the ancient Persian poet Attar wrote, "If anyone asks why Rabia is ranked equal with men, we reply that Muhammad, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, God does not judge you by your outward forms. It is not outward form that matters, but inner intention." Moreover, since we derive much of our religion from Muhammad's wife Aisha, then it is right to take spiritual inspiration from a woman. When a woman is on the path of God, it is not appropriate to define her by her womanhood. In this episode of the Islamic Forum of New Mexico, we'll examine the contributions made by early Muslim women scholars to the development of the Islamic world. The role of women scholars of Hadith is unique in the human history. Prior to our modern times, there is simply no parallel to this special and valuable role played by women scholars in the development, preservation, and dissemination of Islamic knowledge. In the words of Dr. Zubair Siddiqui, history records few scholarly enterprises, at least before modern times, in which women have played an important and active role side by side with men. The science of Hadith forms an outstanding exception in this respect. Islam produced a large number of outstanding female scholars, on whose testimony and sound judgment much of the edifice of Islam depends. Since Islam's earliest days, women had been taking a prominent part in the preservation and cultivation of Hadith, and this function continued down the centuries. At every period in Muslim history, there lived numerous eminent women traditionists, treated by their brethren and rest of society with reverence and respect. Muslims are generally familiar with only a handful of female luminaries from the time of the Prophet. However, what they are generally unfamiliar with is the large number of women scholars over many centuries after the first generation. Just to mention a few, hopefully will spark interest in learning more about this neglected dimension of our remarkable history. Do we know, for example, that al-Darda was regarded by some of her contemporary leading male traditionists as superior to all the other celebrated traditionists of the period, including the celebrated masters of Hadith, like Al-Hasan al-Basri and Ibn Sirin. Amra was specially recognized for her authority on traditions related by Aisha, and among her many notable students was Abu Bakr ibn Hazm, the celebrated judge of Medina, who was ordered by none other than the Caliph Umar ibn Abd al-Aziz himself to write down all the traditions known on her authority. Zainab bint Suleiman gained a reputation as one of the most distinguished women traditionists of the time, and counted many important men among her pupils. Almost without any exception, the compilers of major collections of Hadith also list a good number of women traditionists and scholars as their teachers. A survey of the text reveals that all the important compilers of traditions from the earliest period received many of them from women shuyukh. Every major collection gives the names of many women as the immediate authorities of the author. And when these works had been compiled, the women traditionists themselves mastered them and delivered lectures to large classes of students to whom they would issue their own ijazas. It is so unfortunate and ironic that now this Hadith literature in particular is used to suppress and deny the role, rights, and status of women and confine them to the corners of our households. During the 4th century, there were women scholars whose classes were always attended by many other scholars of great repute. Karima al-Marazia is one of those names that we should proudly know and remember, who was considered the best authority on the Sahih of al-Bukhari in her own time. Abu Dar of Herat, one of the leading scholars of the period, attached such great importance to her authority that he advised his students to study the Sahih under no one else, because of the quality of her scholarship. Among her students were Al-Khatib al-Baghdadi, a noted Islamic scholar and historian. Fatima bint Muhammad received from her contemporary hadith specialist the proud title of Musnida Isfahan, the great hadith authority of Isfahan. Shuda, the writer, was a famous calligrapher and a traditionist of great repute. Her lectures on Sahih al-Bukhari and other hadith collections were attended by large crowds of students, and on account of her great reputation, some people even falsely claimed to have been her disciples.